Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson on shapes and properties. In today's lesson, we'll be looking at some basic properties. We'll start with what are lines and angles. We'll understand rotation, reflection and symmetry. Then we'll move on to parameter, area and volume. And finally, we'll look at some important shapes, that is 2D shapes and 3D shapes. Let's start with some basic properties and let's start with what are lines. A line can be described as the shortest distance between 2 points. So if we have these 2 points A and B and we connect them through the shortest distance possible, that is called a straight line. We have some special cases when we have two lines which are intersecting like this. They are called perpendicular lines and they intersect at right angles. And then we have parallel lines. So basically both lines maintain the same distance between them and they can continue forever. So think of railway tracks or a ladder. So the two arms of the ladder will always be parallel. Let's come on to angles. What exactly is an angle? An angle is the incline or slope between two lines. So here we have two lines and the angle measures how tilted one line is with respect to the other. There are a lot of special cases of angles and important definitions. Let's go into those. Firstly, we have an acute angle. An angle between 0 degrees and 90 degrees is called an acute angle. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse angle lies between 90 degrees and 180 degrees as shown in the image. A straight line is always 180 degrees. Then we have a reflex angle, which is between 180 and 360 degrees. And a full circle is always 360 degrees. So remember these definitions because they might be important from an exam point of view. Now we talked about perpendicular lines intersecting at right angles. So we understand now that this means that the angle between the lines as shown in the image is 90 degrees. Also, let's look at parallel lines. So in this image, we have two parallel lines which are intersecting, which are being intersected by a common line. There are a number of angles which are formed. In the image, we have angle A, B, C, and D. Let's understand a little bit about the relationship between these angles. Angle A and angle C and angle B and angle D are called equivalent angles. What this means is they will be equal in value. If you look at the image, this is, you can kind of observe this. Angle A and angle C look equal and angle B and angle D look equal. So remember, if we have two parallel lines which are being intersected by a common line, this will always be true. Angle A and C will be equal and angle B and D will be equal. Also, we know that angle A plus angle B have to be 180 degrees because these are angles in a straight line. So that always has to add to 180 degrees. And also angle A is equal to angle C because they're equivalent. So angle C and angle B will also be 180 degrees. This might sound a bit complicated, but have a look at the image. So we have two parallel lines which are being intersected by a common line. Angle B and angle C are the internal angles which are formed. So some of these angles will also be 180 degrees. Spend some time on this and understand these because if you know these concepts, you'll be able to solve a lot of the angle-based questions which come in the exam. Yeah. Pause the video if you need to spend some extra time on this. Let's come to what is rotation. A rotation is the circular movement of an object around a center. So here we have this arrow. And this is a image which has been rotated clockwise by 45 degrees. This is rotated by 90 degrees clockwise, 180 degrees, 270 degrees. And if we rotate it by 360 degrees, it comes full circle to the starting point. Similarly, we can have rotation in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is 45 degrees rotation in the anti-clockwise direction. Now we come to reflection. A reflection is simply a mirror image. So let us say we have this image. The reflection is observed with respect to a line or an imaginary image, which is generally represented by a dotted line. So let's say this is the image where we want the reflection with respect to. This would be the reflection of this image along this imaginary line. Each point on the original image has a corresponding point on the reflected image, which is the same distance from the dotted line, but in the opposite direction. Now, this sounds a bit wordy, but it is a very simple and intuitive concept. So when we talk about the reflected image, each point on the reflected image will be the same distance from the imaginary line as the original image, but in the opposite direction. So hopefully this makes it a bit clear. And this is a very important concept to understand if an image is a true reflection or not. Coming to symmetry, the line of symmetry can be defined as an imaginary line that divides the shape into two identical halves. It will necessarily pass through the center of the image, which is quite obvious because if it doesn't pass through the center, how will it divide it into two equal halves, isn't it? And if we were to place a mirror along this line, the shape would be same on both sides. So let's say we have this image. This is a valid line of symmetry, whereas this is not. Let's try to understand why. If this was a valid line of symmetry, then these two distances would be equal, because if we were to place a mirror along this line, it would be the one part would be a reflection of the other, isn't it? But here the distances are not equal, so this is not a true reflection, and hence this is not a line of symmetry. Similarly, this is also not a valid line of symmetry. Before we go on to area, parameter, and volume, let's understand a little bit about basic shapes. We can have a 1D shape, which is basically just a straight line. So it has only one unit of measurement, which is the length. Then we have 2D shape, which requires two parameters, such as length and width, in order to understand its shape. Coming to the definition of a polygon, sorry. A closed 2D shape with straight lines is called a polygon. A regular polygon is one where all sides and internal angles are equal. These are all examples of regular polygons. An irregular polygon has sides and angles which can vary, so they don't have to be all equal. So these are examples of irregular polygons. Finally, we come to 3D shapes. So these need 3 units of measurement in order to define them. For example, length, width, and height. These are two of the examples of 3D images. So let's understand now key properties of shapes, that is parameter, area, and volume. Very important from an exam perspective. So we have this table in which we have the shape at the left, important properties, what is the use of each property, and what are the units for that particular property. When we talk about 1D shape, that is a line, the important property is length, which tells how long. What is the use of this property? For example, if I have to walk from my house to the park, I need to understand how long or how much do I need to walk. So that is length. Units of measurement can be meter, centimeter, kilometer, any of these. Coming to 2D shapes. For example, we have a square here, which is a 2D shape. It has two properties, so a length and a width. The first key property we are going to discuss is the parameter, or the length of the boundary. For example, if we wanted to fence this area, we would need the parameter of the place to understand how much fencing we need in order to complete it. The units of measurement are going to be the same as that of length, that is millimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer, etc. Second important property is the area, which is the size of the surface. So if this was a field and we wanted to cut the grass, we would need to understand how much area we need to cut the grass from. The units are going to be millimeter square, centimeter square, meter square, or kilometer square. Coming to 3D shapes, some important properties are surface area. So for example, if we had this cube and we wanted to paint the outer edge of the cube, we would need to understand surface area. The units are same as that of area, that is millimeter square, centimeter square, meter square, or kilometer square. The second important property is volume, which is also known as capacity. So if we were to fill this cube with water, we would need to understand how much capacity or how much volume of water it can hold. The units of measurement are going to be millimeter cube, centimeter cube, meter cube, or kilometer cube. So these are some basic properties for shapes. Now let's do a quick time test just to understand if we have understood all the concepts we have covered so far, and then we'll move on to some specific shapes in the next video.